Today, we have a fortune-telling video
We will
featuring
analyze
boy
the
next door
personalities
of the 6
and
members
romantic
using
tendencies.
Western astrology. Western astrology is a discipline that has existed for over 4,000 years,
which creates a
date
horoscope
and place
based
on a person's
and then
birth,
interprets it from there.
Well then, let's start the
If I were to
assessment.
describe
this person's personality in one word, I would say they are innocent and carefree. They have a love for adventure, a strong competitive spirit,
youthful vibe
and
even
a bright,
as they age.
innocent personality. And they truly do not lose the heart of a boy. That's the kind of person they are: fun and cheerful, with a strong spirit of service and a knack for entertaining everyone. You naturally become popular. You have a friendly personality that allows you to quickly get along with anyone. You are a character that is loved wherever you go. There is also a tendency to want to stand out. In terms of personality, they are quite straightforward, like a child or a young boy. I would say they don't have much of a facade. They have a very easy to understand personality and are also proactive. Even if they get down, they seem to bounce back quickly. Bright and fun like this. There is a childlike aspect to it in a good way, but if it goes in a negative direction, it can lead to being selfish, childish, unwilling to endure, and lacking in planning. Additionally, because it can easily lead to a mindset of just wanting to enjoy the present, there is a possibility of living in a haphazard manner. I think there are times when it shows on your face. If you don't like something, but because they have a lovable character, they get away with it. I guess it's just because it's this person. I have a personality that tends to be perceived that way. Next, regarding this person's romantic tendencies, as I mentioned earlier, they easily get along with women as well. So, when it comes to finding a partner quickly, that might be a bit different. It's not that I'm particularly good at going from friends to lovers. I'm not very skilled. I have a tendency to be unplanned. Such aspects tend to come out in romantic relationships. I certainly have a lot of female friends. That's a good point. But I might not be the type who is successful in romance, as it appears from the outside. When I like a woman, I'm honest about my feelings and tend to express them quickly, including confessing, which
nice.
I think, since this person has clear preferences, they don't seem to be a man who has many romantic relationships. One good point about this person is that they can maintain a good friendship even after a breakup. In any case, this person seems to embody friendliness, the keyword of friendship. So their romantic relationships might resemble friendships. You might not be good at creating a sweet atmosphere. However, building an equal relationship like that of friends is important. This is true both in romance and after marriage. When I'm with this person, there's never a dull moment. I think we can build a fun relationship. In a word, this person's character can be described as kind and affectionate. Like a school teacher. Even though he's called a teacher, he's not just a kind teacher. He also has a passionate side and a strong sense of justice. On the contrary, he might also be quite sentimental. One good point about this person is their desire to be kind to everyone, innate desire to help those in need, which makes them very kind. I don't think this person could ever refuse a request from a member. They have a gentle side and a strong sense of loyalty and compassion. I can't just leave someone in trouble. And because I have a strong sense of duty, I never forget the kindness I've received throughout my life. That's the kind of personality I have, wanting to return a favor. Principled person, I think there's also a part of me that those who are not. Specifically, breaking a promise, betraying. I absolutely hate that. I can't forgive someone like that. They are usually calm, but there is a possibility of becoming furious if betrayed, or if promises are broken. This person has a caring nature, so they are also good at teaching others. Teaching someone requires a spirit of service, and those who have a strong desire to help others are particularly suited for it. In that sense, they can indeed be called the teacher type. On the other hand, while being kind and helpful is good for the teacher type, they may also have a tendency to be meddlesome. A good deed turned out to be an imposition of kindness. Isn't there such a tendency as well? I also mentioned earlier that I can't refuse requests, but taking on everything ends up overwhelming me, and ultimately I can't be of any help. There may be times when you just throw it aside. It's nice to be kind, but it's better to clearly define what you can take on. I think it's a good idea to clearly draw the line on what you can't take on. Next, let's talk about this person's romantic tendencies. They are expressive with their affection. They might have a bit of a romantic disposition. They also express passionate emotions. And since they also put effort into their partner, I think the lover must be happy. They are someone who doesn't hold back on expressing affection, because they are devoted and single-minded. The lover should feel cherished by this person and experience happiness. I suppose my possessiveness and jealousy are quite strong, so that can be a bit troublesome. This person tends to think of their partner or spouse's possessions. It's not that the person is at fault. They just impose their preferences on their partner for the best, and when I put in effort, but the other person doesn't show gratitude, I sulk and feel resentful. It's easy for such feelings to come out. Therefore, it tends to be difficult to have a straightforward relationship, and I think there's a tendency to seek the same level of affection from the other person as I have. However, I believe this is also because this person is affectionate. Not all bad. Here is the announcement for the Lord's fortune-telling site. In a word, this person's personality can be described as bright and popular. They don't think too deeply about things in a good way, and they don't really have worries. They don't get stuck in a swamp of troubles or spend time feeling anxious. They love everything about playing and dive into anything that seems interesting. I love making people laugh. I also love surprising them. Perhaps it's also because I have a healthy body and don't get sick very often. I'm doing well. Anyway, I might be too energetic and prone to injuries, and I tend to forget things that are over. This person is also lucky. Because they are lucky, they can maintain a cheerful personality. Attracts good luck. But there is no doubt that they have an optimistic character. And once I decide to do something, I absolutely cannot just think about it and not take action. I jump into what I want to do right away. I don't think about the consequences, whether good or bad. I have a strong desire to be active and adventurous. I also have strong ambitions. So you could say I am destined to be at the top. My luck with money should also be good. Having many ideas to make money and bringing them to fruition. I also have the drive to take action, so my financial luck is good. I have a talent for making money. I'm the type who can't save money. I tend to make impulse purchases and spend whatever I have. I have a flashy way of spending money. I tend to struggle with managing money. For someone who lives freely, according to their own sensibilities, love is also just as free. You could even say it's too free. Specifically, there is a lack of consistency. I think there is a tendency to get excited easily but quickly. Even if I think this person is great, I quickly lose interest. I want a partner, but by the next day, I feel like I don't need one after all. Tendencies. This isn't the person's fault. It's just their inherent personality, so it can't be helped. This person has a similar personality to mine, and enjoys fun things. I think I like women with a bright personality. Having a similar personality means that we can act freely without binding each other, so even while dating, I wonder if we truly prioritize our hobbies as an enjoyment. I haven't been on a date at all lately. It's easy to end up feeling that way. That is a flaw. But I think we shouldn't restrict this person. When I'm bound, I want to escape since I have a personality that immediately dislikes restrictions on freedom. It seems better to allow a certain degree of freedom. I am also free, so I don't fall for women based solely on superficial conditions. If you try to force yourself to choose a woman who is generally considered good, rather than your own preference, you may end up in a painful situation. For example, this person likes beautiful women. They like people with extremely cute faces. It's not that way. but everyone says it's good, so I'm popular. Even if I date an incredibly beautiful person just to brag about being with them, I might end up not being able to truly like them and get dumped, so it seems better to be honest about my feelings in love as well. To sum up this person's personality in one word, they are the class representative type. Specifically, this person has the ability to read the atmosphere, bring everyone together, is intelligent, and is well organized. Generally, those who become class representatives at school are serious, smart, good at uniting others, have a desire and to help people, at reading the room. This person embodies such traits and can be described as sensible and organized. This type tends to be favored by teachers and liked by superiors. Additionally, they are likely to have a strong intellectual curiosity, a diligent nature, and a wealth of knowledge. I think I have a sensitive side. In terms of personality, it's because I have a rich sensitivity. And being able to read the atmosphere means I am that much more delicate and sensitive. I am skilled and notice the finer details within the group. They also have a cooperative spirit and listen to the opinions of those around them. They are evaluated by everyone for their sincere personality. I believe they also play the role of a coordinator. And I think they also serve as a counselor when other members have worries. They are a serious person with a strong spirit of service. However, no matter how wonderful a person is, everyone has their shortcomings and points of concern. One surprising aspect of this person is that they are impatient. The reason they become impatient is that they are intelligent. Intelligent people can foresee things well in advance, which makes them wonder why those around them are so slow to act. I wonder why they are so slow to act. I wonder why I can't do it faster. Isn't there a part of you that becomes impatient like that? Next, regarding this person's romantic tendencies, they are basically passive. I don't really have the tendency to aggressively pursue women I like. This is because I can act from the other person's perspective. Also, as I mentioned earlier, due to their sensible and well-mannered personality, that person can leave a good impression and be seen as wonderful. That also becomes a characteristic, and I think they are often relied upon. They are the type whose reason wins over emotion. So even if I think positively about that person, I can't become that passionate. It's almost impossible for me to get so absorbed in love that I neglect and tend to suppress their emotions. So this person is in love. And I think it can be quite difficult to understand who they like. They also seem to develop feelings for others out of sympathy due to their kind personality. If I had to describe this person's personality in one word, I would say they are bright, cheerful, I feel like I want to draw a clear line between right and wrong. There are certainly clear aspects to it. Things that you like and dislike. This is a good thing. This is a bad thing. I have clear criteria within myself. And I dislike being half-hearted. Isn't there something like that? And I have a rather strong-willed personality. I also have decision-making ability. Not only am I mentally strong, but I am also physically strong. That's why I can become a leader. That's why I can maintain a cheerful personality. People with a weak constitution should try to stay positive. Even if I want to be energetic, it's impossible. In that regard, this person is naturally endowed with physique. They possess leadership qualities and the ability to guide others. It can be said that their desire to be number one is quite strong. I will never yield on what I believe, no matter what anyone says, or if the whole world turns against me. I have that stubborn side as well. Being stubborn may seem like a flaw, but having a strong will and determination to never bend can also be a workaholic. I love my job, and the results are clearly visible. I became popular as a celebrity because I love that kind of work and became number one. It's clear that popularity can be measured in numbers. I like jobs where the results of my hard work are clearly visible, such as having this many fans as an idol. It's like saying that so many new songs have sold well. I think there's a part of them that works hard to gain such good evaluations. They have a strong personality, leadership skills, and confidence. But if that comes across too strongly, it could also be perceived as arrogance. And it's not uncommon to think that person is confident and has a high pride. It's not all the time, but I need to be careful not to adopt an arrogant attitude. However, I believe they have the basic qualities of cooperation and common sense. So I think it will be fine. Running forward with a strong will towards my goals like this. I thought this person would be very proactive in love, but I assumed they would be flashy in romance. But it seems they're not that flashy after all. There are surprisingly plain aspects as well. What I mean by plain is that I only like one person. I don't really get distracted easily. When I thought this person was nice, it turned out they have a devoted side. This person has a glamorous aura and a lot of popularity, so they are often pampered by many people. They are popular with women, but surprisingly, they seem to be satisfied with just one person. I don't really want to date various people, and I'm not the type to be in love. So I think there's a tendency to be in a long term with one person. However, when I'm rejected by someone I truly like, my pride is severely hurt. I end up repeating relationships that aren't serious as a reaction. It might also lead to being a bit fickle, because I'm so devoted. You could say that it takes time for someone like this to recover from a broken heart. If I had to describe this person's personality, it would be that they are always pleasant and have a cooperative, civil servant type of demeanor. With everyone's tax money. That being said, I think someone who is serious, intellectual, and has a sense of cleanliness is what is expected of being reasonable and not overly expressive, and that individualities are being sought after. This person also gives off a very good impression. So you're the type to be a public servant. This person, even when working, doesn't just think about wanting to earn money to stand out. They consider how what they do brings joy to their fans and people around the world. That's why I'm happy. I'm unconsciously having a positive impact on society. Someone can find happiness. Isn't it true that I feel a sense of mission? Because what I'm doing brings joy to someone. They are also someone who possesses such a noble spirit. They rarely get angry over trivial matters. You could say they are a person with a deep heart and great tolerance. They are also good at reading the atmosphere. They can be described as a calm person who always reads the mood of the situation and values harmony with others more than their own emotions. That's why they are loved by many people. I think they might feel that it's nice just adapting to the other person in each situation. Honestly, I'm just reading without saying what I really think. I have such a strong desire not to argue with others that I don't express my own opinions. There are also negative aspects to being overly peace-loving, such as having an excessive desire for things to go smoothly in the moment. It's easy to become a people-pleaser. Having a personality that can adapt to anyone can sometimes bring misfortune. However, this is not done with ill intentions. It's because I want everyone to be at peace. I hope we can avoid conflict. It's not that this person is bad, rather, they can be said to have a pure heart. Next is their romantic tendencies. They are usually calm and don't express their emotions much, but they show a refreshing expression of affection. When they like someone, they tend to approach them in a friendly manner, leaving a good impression, and they are probably good at creating initial connections. You might care quite a bit about superficial conditions. Superficial conditions refer to things like educational background, family background, work history, and may start off refreshing as the entrance to a first love. Once you become a couple, this person's unbelievable intense side comes out. Unlike their usual freshness, a sense of obsession is coming out. I absolutely don't want to let this person go. When you think about wanting to have someone, as a lover, intense emotions and affection may arise, causing you to become a completely different person than usual. A strong sense of attachment may emerge, You may resort to any means necessary to obtain
There
the
are
other
places
person.
like that,
Aren't there? This applies not only to lovers, but also to things that you like.